Hello class. So today my presentation will cover POP3X, S and SMPTS. I am Christiana Afriye and I will be presenting my content. So content is POP3X, key features of POP3X, Dovecot, hardware recommendation for POP3X/Dovecot, hardware recommendation for IIS, hardware recommendation with postfix. These are some content, not all of it, as you can see. Keywords is POP3X, MTA, Dovecot, SMPTS, postfix, and IIS. So what is POP3X? POP3X is a post office protocol. It's a type of mail program that uses a one-way client protocol, which is received for receiving email over the internet. And being that it's a third version of POP, that the 3 in POP3S represent the third version. And it works with two ports, POP 1110 and 995. Makes it easier for the receiving the mail, and having two ports makes work a little bit more cleaner. Some key features is it is useful for storing and sending bulk messages. It is a secure method for email from a server, and its main focus is downloading messages to clients' devices. POP3S is extremely compatible with email clients since it's supported by Microsoft Outlook, Apple Mail, and Firefox, and of course other ones too. And messages can be read when it's offline, and it is easier to configure. So back to messages can be read when it's offline. Imagine you being on Outlook. Well, you need Outlook, and you are at a location with no internet, but the email you need, you already downloaded it. You could always go back without the need of Wi-Fi, and your email or whatever in the Outlook that you needed will be there. And a lot of schools, of course, use Outlook. Dovecot, what is it? Dovecot is an open source IMAP and POP3 email server for Linux, Unix-like systems with security primary in mind. The principal task of Dovecot is to sort emails received by mail transfer agents. Some key features of Dovecot includes being that Dovecot supports full encryption. It uses SSL to ensure that communication is fully secure between client and the server, which is always the goal and the main priority of security, period. Dovecot is designed to handle large mailboxes, and it implements CF filtering, which means users can define rules for their incoming mails. Dovecot and POP3X work hand to hand. Remember, POP3X is useful for storing and sending bulk messages, same as Dovecot. As I said it here, Dovecot is designed to handle large mailboxes connected. How to configure Dovecot. So if Dovecot is not already used or installed in your computer, you have to use the command sudo apt install Dovecot imapd or Dovecot p3d to run it, and you will configure the file. Of course, everything is happening in the terminal, and then you have to enable the following protocols. And after that, you have to enable the POP3X in the Dovecot and configure the SSL edit with the following command and amend it. After step 4, you have to reset Dovecot to make sure it's working and running, not actually manually reset it, but with the command listed, the sudo service Dovecot restart. Hardware recommendation for POP3X/Dovecot. First is limit user privilege. Limiting user privilege is always a key step because having too much people accessing information makes it very easier for data to get lost. So implementing the least privilege with Dovecot service, it will minimize the impact of security breaches. Since Dovecot split its processes into multiple processes, it supports the least privileges and make everything look cleaner. That's also one thing about limiting user privilege. It makes everything much cleaner and much smoother. Segmentation. Segmentation is dividing networks into multiple segments. So placing Dovecut POP3s server into different segments, it will isolate them from other systems and reduce compromises. And brute force protection. Since Dovecut has a built-in mechanism for blocking brute force, enabling it and configuring it will prevent cyber criminals from getting into the server. Also, a user can implement rules to limit or detect failed user login attempts. What is SMPTS? So, Simple Mail Transfer Protocol, also commonly known as SMPTS, is the secure version of SMPT, and that uses the transport layer to send and receive email. Some key features of SMTPS is it provides authentication for communication partners. It uses port 465 and it's compatible with email client server that uses SSL like POP3X and is commonly used for email retrieval. Imagine you deleted a message on accident, or maybe you actually deleted it. This is SMPTS, is how you could get emails that you lost or never received it, or you accidentally just deleted it. What is Postfix? Postfix is a mail transfer agent that is designed to determine routes and send emails. Some key features of Postfix is it runs or has run on AIS, BSD, HPUS, IRIS, Linux, Mac OS, Solaris, True64, Unix, and other Unix systems. And it also supports IP46, and it's good for junk control. It has multiple database support, and you could use address manipulation, and it has address manipulation. So how to configure SMTPS with IIS on Windows. So you open the Internet Information Services, which is in Windows Manager, and navigate to the level you want to manage. Second step is features. You go to features view, double click SMTP email. On that page, you type the email address to the sender, and then in 4, there's 2 steps. So inside the SMTP email page, you select one of the following, whichever one you accept. If it's storing the email, you pick directory and the badge, but if it's deliver, it's a whole nother extra step, and then after that, you apply. And to configure SMPTS with Postfix, you select the configuration type, which is internet site, enter the system name as fully qualified domain name, enable authentication and secure credentials, and restart the Postfix. So handling recommendations, hardening recommendation with IIS. So TLS encryption, configuring IIS to enforce TLS encryption is essential since it ensures data is securely transmitted over the internet. SMPTS is benefited from this since it hides the content of the emails, and unauthorized party won't gain access to any information. Connection control. Implementing connection control can enhance the security. This addition is essential since it controls the number of hosts that can control the SMPT server. And Postfix have a configuration parameter that adds a layer of security to the SMPT, as the command used is this command listed. And relay restriction. Relay restriction is a feature that allows admins to accept and reject emails from organizations, which is very essential because phishing emails attack. You might feel like, oh, the organization might feel like this is a good email, so they will click it, and it will just disrupt the whole system. But this time, the organization could decide what is good or bad, so they can't blame it on anybody else for their problem. SMTPD _relay _restriction It's a parameter used by postfix to specify access control rules, mostly to define a restriction based on a client's IP address. So back to this. For admins to reject or accept emails, they usually go based on the IP address. An IP address is essentially very important because based on the IP address, they will determine if this is malicious or not. Example, there is a software called VirusTotal, and most or some companies use it to run IP addresses to determine if, well, third-party companies use it to run IP addresses to make sure whoever is connected to their account or whoever logs in and trying to do their work is not a malicious user. Okay, so hardware recommendation with SMTPS postfix. Implement hello. Configuring hello enhances security by creating a series of restrictions and access control. Implementing hello makes identification easier since a client usually has its own host name. Servers don't have hello are not usually properly configured. Utilize verify. Verify is short for verify, and it's used to check if the email address is valid on the mail server. Now, if it's not valid, obviously that's a red flag and you are more accepting it. You're more likely to get a breach or just phishing attack back to back on your computer. So implementing verify in your postfix will make it easier or even better have your security very guarded up. And then the back up the postfix configuration. This stuff is often skipped, but it's extremely important because in case of security attack, there will always be stored copy. They always encourage you to back up any product, any devices you have, because backing up will make it so easier to, in case of an emergency, be picked up from where you left off, or even modify your code or anything to make sure the next time, you're not destined for a breach. So yeah, backing up is always 100% important. And these are my citations where I got all my information from. And thank you for joining me today. Have a nice day.